Hi, you're listening to The Humans We Are with Carola, episode number 43. Hello, amazing humans. I hope you're doing amazing today whenever you are listening. If you're a returning listener of the show, welcome back. I am so glad that you're here for another episode of The Humans We Are. And if you are new to the show, welcome. I am so happy to have you. My hope is that as you listen to this show, you will find a more loving and accepting way of relating to not only your body, but also your future, your decisions, the way that you are and the ways that you have been in the world, and everything that encompasses who you are. And the way that I am available to support you is one, by sharing information through this podcast, which is free. And if you want more support, I offer that mainly through one-on-one coaching. If you have a desire to understand how that will work and how I can help you understand yourself better, stop being your own harshest critic, and you want to start making decisions in your life more from love and not from fear, I can totally help. If you would like to know about how that looks like for you, I invite you to just book a no pressure, no strings attached conversation. You need to go to carolafortes.com/consult and we will take it from there. Today, I wanted to talk about this quote that I posted on Instagram a few days ago, and I got some comments back that made me realize that it's either misunderstood or it's just worth it to explore that a little bit deeper. And I did a little research to see if I could find the author of the quote, but it's been attributed to different people. So I guess no one is 100% sure from whom it is originally. The Talmud, Anais Nin, Stephen Covey, and others have been mentioned as the authors, so I don't really know. Just rest assured that it wasn't me. That's all I need you to believe for now. So the quote goes, "We don't see things as they are, we see them as we are." And when I shared this on Instagram, there was a graphic by a Puerto Rican artist called Marcos Alvarado, where the drawing he made, I think, was really good to illustrate the quote. So I'm going to try to describe it for you, but if you go to Instagram and you search for Marcos Alvarado, you will need to scroll down, but you will find, and now after I describe it, it's going to be easy for you to find it, okay? So in the middle, he drew the Earth, okay, like the planet Earth. And to the right and to the left, he drew a human figure on each side. The figure on the right is outlined in red, and there are flames coming out of its head and from their eyes. There's like a red fiery beam that's coming out of their eyes, and it lands on the right half of the Earth. And that half of the Earth is itself on fire. So overall, what that half of the drawing conveys to me is anger, distraction, fear, loss, disaster. So that kind of emotional quality to that side of the drawing. And the figure on the left side is outlined in blue, and the beam coming out of their eyes is also blue. And on that side of the Earth, you can see butterflies, and it conveys calm, serenity, beauty, peace. Both figures are looking at the same planet Earth. They are looking from different perspectives. And we can argue that that's why they see a different thing when they look at it, because they're each seeing different portions of the surface of the earth. But they are also both looking at the earth from within their own energies, within their own glasses, if you will. Who they are being colors what they see. It overlays and filters what they perceive. What you see and how you describe what you see may seem like an objective description of what you're looking at, but it's always a good idea to ask yourself, especially if what you are seeing you don't like it, how you might be projecting and what you might be projecting on your perceived reality. This is a trippy notion. I get that. This is going to be a trippy episode. But it is important because so many of us take the long road when we try to change our life experience. We try to change what's outside. We try to change the world out there, the people out there, the circumstances. And more often than not, we get frustrated because it's not always easy to change what's outside. And some of that is definitely not even in our control at all. And the short road when it comes to changing how we experience our life is to change ourselves so we can see and perceive and experience life from our changed selves. Remember that other very famous quote by Gandhi that says, "Be the change that you want to see in the world." Do you see why that's an excellent suggestion? So when I posted that graphic on Instagram, someone messaged me with a sad face. They were disappointed, I guess, and they asked, "So, am I projecting then?" And this wasn't an in-depth interaction, but from that sad face, I assumed that this person was resonating with the right hand figure, right? The one with the flames. You know, that was seeing like all the distraction and chaos. And again, this is also my assumption, so I might be off. But I got the sense that they also felt sad to realize that they were creating a perception of reality that wasn't great. Maybe they felt upset, ashamed, guilty, even resentful. I know I have felt all of those as well when in a similar circumstance, so I could definitely empathize with what I think they were feeling. And I wanted to ask all of you, if you have ever found yourself experiencing life in a way that doesn't please you, and how does that make you feel? I know for me, many times when my life experience isn't pleasing, I felt like a victim of the situation. And I've had a strong sense that those unwanted, unpleasant experiences were happening to me without my involvement or consent. And in those situations, if someone were to suggest that I was seeing things not as they are, but as I am, that would have made me very upset and resentful. I'm pretty sure that more than once someone may have pointed out that I was being a participant in the situation that I was in. And for sure, I didn't like it. I didn't appreciate them pointing it out. So don't blame yourself if you feel a lot of resistance when you hear me talk about this, because it may be not the right time or the right moment for you to ponder this, and it's okay. You will be able to challenge these notions, but don't push yourself. It's okay. You will get there. Now, if you are open, if you feel like you can tolerate to examine how you might be impacting your perception of your situations and how the way that you are being might be shaping how you see things, how you perceive things, how you experience life, it's the most powerful exploration that you can do. You may be on the verge of discovering how powerful you really are. Okay, now back to this person who messaged me. So they said, so am I projecting then? And it's a great question, right? It's a very insightful question in and of itself. And the answer is always yes. So the following question, like the next level question, the next most important question is not am I projecting, but what am I projecting? And do I like it? And why am I projecting that? What do I want to see? And who do I need to be to project what I want to see? I had a recent experience myself that I think will serve as a good example. So, I have a guilty pleasure. We could say that this is an escaping mechanism or something that allows me to just avoid reality when I feel like it's too much or when I just can't handle what's going on in my life, and that's true crime. So a few weeks ago, I found myself consuming a lot of true crime content, podcasts, YouTube videos, etc. And there's a lot. So there wasn't a shortage of content for me to consume. And I am talking about, like, I was maybe watching or listening to something maybe 3 hours a day. And some days even more if I had to drive a lot or go shopping or like while doing the dishes, while folding laundry. Like I was constantly filling my head up with very gruesome content, very shocking stories. You can imagine the type of stories. Like if you really go down the rabbit hole of true crime, there's like really like shocking, gruesome things that you can learn and that you can listen to. And it started permeating my life experience. I started to have people be more aggressive on the road. Like I would be driving and someone would cut me off. Even on the street, I started noticing scary interactions among people on the sidewalk. It was really wild. It was really interesting. And because I normally don't have those kind of experiences, I don't see that much at all. But all of a sudden, quote unquote, these kind of experiences started to show up more around me. Now, luckily, I didn't get to the point where anything happened to me directly, but it was enough. It was different enough. It was noticeable enough that it made me want to stop consuming that kind of content, at least for a while. I can't promise that I won't go back, but for now, I am staying the hell out of it. And, you know, there's a reason that I haven't consumed news since 2009. I didn't want all the negativity and doom in my field, and yet I submerged myself fully in that true crime soup, and I started to see that show up in my reality. I kid you not, it was really noticeable and it was wild. What we call the world, what we call our reality, what we call the objective external circumstances is still a mirror. And I don't even want to say that you should aim to not see anything that is unpleasant or undesired or quote unquote negative. This is not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is be mindful of how the way that you are and all the things that you are feeding yourself in terms of information and all the thoughts that you are intentionally choosing to think or to believe, all of that is shaping your experience of your life, of the world. And we don't pay enough attention to how much we have the power to shape that. And it matters, because otherwise, when we don't take responsibility, we easily fall in the victim mentality that doesn't serve you or anyone else around you. We see that even when put under the quote-unquote same circumstances, every one of us will experience that circumstance in a different way, because we experience it as we are, not as that thing out there, quote-unquote, is. And if we don't like what we see and we try to change the image in the mirror, we're not going to get very far. When we change, when we are the ones that change, the mirror can't help but reflect that back. All right, my friends, I hope this episode resonates with you. And if you get activated, that's also interesting for you to notice and even explore if you feel like it. If you want to find out more about working with me, I recommend to book a free consult, which you can do by going to carolafuertes.com/consult. And you can also find me on Instagram at FuertesCarola if that's your jam. You can come and say hi in my DMs or comment on whatever you find there. And if you want to support this show, please follow and subscribe and leave an honest review. I want to shout out OBGYN Life, who left a review titled Changing My Brain in the Best Way. And they say, this podcast offers some of the most positive and loving ways to support and love myself throughout my life. Thank you, Carola, for offering your love and kindness in a way that helps me grow and connect with my best self. So thank you so much. I appreciate the time that you took to leave that kind review, and it's my pleasure. If you have any comments, suggestions for topics to cover, or feedback of any kind that you'd like to get to me, you can either message me on Instagram or you can email me at carola@carolafuertes.com. And I'll be back soon. But for now, that's all, my friends. Bye-bye.